What's good, everybody? How's it going? It's going good, Todd. How are you? Heading to the beach tomorrow. Nice. Yeah, we'll be a day behind because we'll leave Saturday morning. Pretty early Saturday, I think. So here's our owner list for tonight. I am missing payments currently still from Chris Bonnet, David Brinkman, and Nate Gogol. I've already talked to JJ. We've got something figured out on our end. So I left him marked off so I knew what was going on with him, but his is already taken care of. So Chris Bonnet, David Brinkman, Nate Gogol, when you guys get around to it, would be appreciated. And that's that for the list. And I say we get started. No reason not to start. All right, this is box break, or 5-box break number 2503. 2503. For those that are unsure of what the 2503 stands for, it just means product 2025 product, third box, or third break of said product run. Very highly technical system that I have. Empty box. Oh, I was working on packaging cards from I can't get it off my hand. All right, hang on. I was working on packaging cards from last night's break. So the cards from the first break have shipped. And I got a couple of the packages, or a couple of the people's cards slipped in there from the second one. But for the most part, the cards from the second break will ship tomorrow, along with any hits from this one. So, we're gonna go rather quickly through the base from now on. Red and blue, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Breidinger, Willie B. season highlights. Doverbound, oh nice. I'm gonna be really close to you, Carol, because I'm gonna be in Ocean City, and I literally told my wife, I said, that's only like a little over an hour from Ocean City. But we're taking the kids and my mom, and I don't feel like that's right to be like, hey, Mom, we're leaving for the day. Have fun with the kids. So, you know what I mean? Like, and we would be leaving her with no vehicle. Not that you really need a vehicle in Ocean City. You really don't. But in the state of an emergency, I would hate to be gone and have no vehicle for her. So, just seemed like a bad idea. Red and blue Dinger. Optic Hollow Tie Dylan. Filler. Dover's fun though. We used to go camp there every year. It was always the fall race we went to. Shelbyville, nice. Red and blue Jeff Gordon. Optic Briscoe. Spellbound Larson N. He just picked up a $100,000 win tonight. If you weren't watching on FS1, that's why I wanted to wait to do the break at the time that we started, because selfishly I wanted to watch the race. So, red and blue Justin Allgaier. You got a purple optic, purple optic velocity, AJ Allmendinger. Got me all choked up. 23 of 59. Going to Johnny. Yeah, so I would look out if anybody didn't pick Larson to win this weekend. I would say he finally got his groove back. That's usually what happens with him. Is he usually goes and wins a big sprint car race, and then he goes on a little bit of a tear. So we'll see if that holds up. Suited up Taylor Gray going to Danny. Yeah. Unleashed Seabell. He's got no chance at SVG this weekend. Red blue Kurt Busch. Coming Attractions Sheldon Creed. And Optic Connor Zilich. Red and blue McDowell. Hollow Tanner Gray. And Spellbound Jeff Gordon. Contrary to some other products and packs, these packs are not hard to open. They open really easy. Yeah, I'm glad to have a non-road course race. I probably won't see it because, like I said, we're going to be at the beach. But I'll try to keep up with what's going on. 28 of 299. Kyle Petty, red, goes to Glenn. Kurt Busch and Spellbound. Kyle Larson, 29 out of 199. Going to CW. I guess we're going this way. Zilich, Brett Cruz, Byron, and Pedal to the Metal, Sheet Metal, Eric Jones. That'll go to JR. Look for a Denny and Larson shootout, huh? That could be. That could be. Unleashed SVG. And Caden, red and blue, rated rookie. Butterbean, Frankie Muniz, Caden, Luke, Austin, C. Bell, red and blue. He did not have a good night tonight at Eldora. I don't think he's in as good a car as people think he's in now. I don't know. Optic Hollow Bowman. And Earnhardt Spellbound, letter A. 2311 being open. Yeah, I mean, I think this whole thing with NASCAR is a big swing and a miss. I don't like the charter system one bit, though. So, I left a comment on a page, and I even posed the question to somebody, tell me something good that's come from the charter system since 2016. You know, has the sport gotten better or worse since that was implemented? I don't think it's gotten better. You know, that would be my question, is how has the charter system benefited the growth of the sport? Red and blue, Austin Dillon. Red Velocity Optic, Haley Deegan. Going to Kurt. $127 of $199. And Race Kings, Joey Logano. I also think if you are doing something to chase Michael Jordan away from your sport, that's a bad, like, you know, Michael Jordan's a very, very smart businessman. 119 of 199, blue, Bill Elliott for JR. Austin Beers, Signature Series. That's cool. Going to Chris Bonnet. Yeah, that's cool. And Connor Zilich, Spellbound Eye. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I legitimately, if anybody thinks that there's been anything good from the charter system, I'm all ears. I just genuinely would like to know what that, you know, how that's improved the sport by doing that. Red and blue, Brennan Poole, Kenseth, and Unleashed, Jeff Gordon, 39 of 199. Going to Gavin. You know what I mean? It's not like, I guess in my head, I'm thinking, it's not like you're going to have a bunch of cup teams coming out of the woodwork. You know, like, there's only so many race teams out there that can afford fielding a race team at the cup level. So, you know, if the argument would be, you know, that it's helped the teams with a guarantee that they're going to make the show or whatever, you know, go back to starting 42 or 43 cars in the race. And that allows plenty of room for open teams, everybody to make the race. What do we got going on here? These are stuck. These are really stuck together. That was strange. There is... I'm going to set this off to the side. That's like really sticky glue on the back of this Kulwicki. Maybe we get a second one and it won't be too big of a deal. But Paul, I'm going to set that off to the side. And I'll try to get that cleaned up. I don't think it left anything on the Larson. I was able to get that to come clean. But yeah, just think about, you never hear of a team needing to use a provisional anymore because of the charter system. Qualifying doesn't really even, qualifying matters at tracks for sure, but, qualifying used to really matter. You only got so many provisionals per year, and you had to race your way in or qualify your way in. Hollow Optic Gregson. They could have... There's so many things they could do from a potential standpoint, and from a creative. They could have a field day if they wanted to, but I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. I think when we start saying, what's the problem with NASCAR? I think NASCAR is the problem with NASCAR. I don't think they, you know what I mean? Like, NASCAR's the only ones making money. Empty box. Helps the teams in the fact that they have a value if they shut down instead of selling everything for nothing. Yeah, I can see that to a point, but the value is only the value is only there because of the guarantee that goes with the charter, right? Like, if you didn't have the guarantee along with that charter under that form or format, then what? I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking out loud. Red and blue Matt Mills. I do see the point that Scott has made. I don't disagree, I guess. Hey, Danny. I don't know. They got to figure out something, I guess. I don't know what the fix is, but they got to figure out something. Because I think you want open teams. And so 228 of 299, red BK. Going to James. The other thing is, under the charter system, most of the money for racing is in the guarantees for teams. You know what I mean? Like, there's not as big of a disparity from winning a race to last place as there used to be. But there's more money in a guarantee form that doesn't have anything to do with where they finished in the race. And I'm fine with them having guaranteed money to a point. 115 or 199, but you can just call that, a championship. It could be a benefit from being in the top 30 in points from the previous year. Or, I don't know. There's got to be ways around some of that. Richard Petty going to Glenn. I guess my thought process behind why I'm so anti-charter is this. Say one of us or a group of us collectively won the Powerball And, you know, we had millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions. And we thought, hey, it'd be fun to go start a race team. I would think that for, you know, somebody that maybe has, I don't know, I have no idea how much it actually costs. I'm just going to speculate and throw out 150 million a year, 200 million a year. But you couldn't even start a race team if you wanted to. Sammy Smith suited up going to Candace. Like, I guess that's my thinking, is they've made it so exclusive. And don't get me wrong, the high limit sprint cars are going to do this too. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. Connor Zilich, Spellbound, because what it does is it locks people in, but it also locks people out. So then it's like impossible to break through for anybody new. So, yeah, Braxton just said it's a club. Oh, there we go. 101. Parker Retzlaff. 101 printing plate. Parker Retzlaff is going to go to Danny Sanchez. Nice one, Danny. Congrats, man. Let's get you a mag. Yeah, Braxton said it best. It's a club, and it's who has the most money, or who has the money. And if you don't have enough, then you don't get to be in the club, basically. Parker Retzlaff. Yeah, that'll work. That's cool. Yeah, you were late on that one, too. You kind of jumped in there toward the end. Just goes to show. Just grab some random drivers. You never know. Heck yeah. Connor Daly. Hollow Silver. And Larson L. Oh, still over here. I thought we'd moved on. We hadn't yet. $61 out of $199. Ty Gibbs. That's going to go to Billy Joe. Gilliland Optic Hollow. Carson Quapple Coming Attractions. One, two, three. Yeah, I think there's only 6 people in the checklist for Spellbound, I believe. Deegan Red and Blue. Daniel Dye. And Petty with the T. Spellbound T. Waltrip, Red and Blue. Daniel Dye, Red Velocity. Goes to Paul Wolf. 124 or 199. And then we got the Burning Rubber, Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith goes to Storm Ghost. Been seeing a lot of damaged downtowns. If you're seeing a lot of downtowns in general, Corey, I kind of raise an eyebrow, because downtowns are supposed to be about 1 in 2 to 4 cases. So I guess that was my knee-jerk first thought, is if you're seeing a lot of downtowns at all, that gets my attention. Damaged downtowns can be replaced by Panini, though. That's the one positive about that. They can replace them if they're damaged. Red and blue, Tony Breidinger. Junior. And Caden Honeycutt. Red and blue, Blaney. Brandon Jones, Optic. Jeff Gordon, R. Spellbound, R. R. Like Jack Sparrow. Red and blue, Ben Rhodes. Hollow Optic, Ryan Preece. Seen 6, all with damage. Wow. So that's probably at least 12 cases worth of downtowns. Just playing the average. 12 to 15 maybe. That's a lot of either breaks or or somebody's gotten really lucky that you're watching. Connor Zillich, Brent Cruz, Brennan Queen, Red Blue Jeb Burton, Spellbound R Dale Jr., Mushy Corners, huh? Interesting. I guess these are all... yeah, I would say so. I would say so. If you've seen that many, you've watched a lot of breaks in a short period of time. Of course, I guess first off, the line's been out. And who knows? I kind of wonder if maybe with first off the line, where downtown's a little more prevalent than straight hobby. Who knows? You know, we'll never know. But maybe they juiced up first off the line with a few more downtown hits. You know, better odds. Maybe those were 1 per 2 cases, where they're saying hobbies, 2 to 4. So, who knows? Who knows? Kyle Petty, red and blue. Got the green velocity, Cole Custer. Going to Storm Ghost. '98 and '99. First card, first pack. Well, you'd have to be specific, Paul, because there's two packs on the top. Because in the box, they're situated 2 stacks. If you're one of those that thinks that they're always going to be in the same... Back in the prime days, we had so many people that were just absolutely, they had convinced themselves that all the patches were in a specific box in the case. And if you took the boxes out in a certain order, that you'd know where the patches were. And I don't know how many times we busted that myth. 36 of 199, blue Matt Kenseth goes to Andy. Now, there might be tendencies, but Optic Hollow Connor Mozak autograph. That's going to go to Storm Ghost. Very nice. We'll swap him out for a bit. Unleashed Ryan Blaney. Red and blue Todd Gilliland. And, oh, that's cool. SVG 10 out of 199. 10 out of 199. Going to James. I like these numbered SVG card, or not SVG specifically, but numbered Unleashed cards. All the inserts. We've been over this, but all the inserts. If you can get a numbered parallel, man, they're nice. You know, even the higher serial numbers, they look really, really nice. I have no clue what pack it was. I don't think it matters, Paul. I don't think it matters. I'm not one of them. See what I mean? So when they're in there, they're stacked in 2 rows. And they're situated like that because, I think they want you to pop this down inside there, and then this would stand up like that, and then you could just walk up and pick your pack. Empty. I do think from a production standpoint that they had to have cut some costs by cutting out a bunch of cards. You know, they cut the base cards by about 30%, which I'm fine with. But by cutting that down and then cutting your number of packs that you have to use and the physical size of the packaging and boxes and cases, like, I just feel like they had to have saved some money. But I feel like because of Connor Zilic and a couple of these rookies that are super popular, the interest is going to stay fairly high for a while. And therefore, it's going to help hold the price where it is. I don't see the price dropping quickly. Card didn't look bad at all. So Paul's saying the downtown didn't look bad at all that he saw. Sounds good, David. No worries, bud. Thanks. Everybody was out having fun tonight because you were out at dinner, and another group member messaged me earlier and said he was out with some buddies and having some fun. And I'm like, man, am I the only one that doesn't have a life? Brett Holmes going to Johnny. And there we go. 7 out of 99. And this is the explosive. I did hear that explanation. The ones to 99 are the explosion. So that's the explosive or explosion. parallel if it's to 99. Larson going to CW. Sawalich, red and blue. Optic Jimmy. Justin Allgaier, burning rubber. Going to Nathan. Speaking of doing things with friends and that kind of stuff, I know I mentioned it last week or the week before, but fantasy football season is upon us. I will probably start really talking about it, and I'll probably go ahead and start messaging those who participated last year once I get back from vacation to kind of solidify our lists. Let me open some more 130s real quick. So just know that if you were in fantasy football last year, I'll be messaging you here towards the very end of the month. Money won't be due for it until it'll be due a couple days before we draft. Because I always like to have everybody paid and up front, and then if there's any last second changes, it gives us time to add or subtract somebody if we need to. So anyway, that is right around the corner. Fantasy football is right around the corner. Our fantasy racing is in full force. It's still anybody's game in fantasy racing. Like, there's like 8 or 9 people in that are, it could be anybody's championship still. 51 of 299, red, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Going to Greg. Yeah, there's a cool RC dirt track about an hour and a half south of me. And they always race. They actually have a little bit bigger outdoor track, but then they have a smaller indoor track. They call it the barn. And of course, it's a big winter thing. A lot of the racers have cars and go. They have a ball. They actually, I was there when I was working at the racetrack. I went down one night, and the owners of the facility have cars, and they were kind enough to let me try my hand at it, and of course I was just atrocious with it. But I'd never done it before, you know. So they didn't put anybody else on the track, and they just kind of let me have a couple exhibition laps because I could have been dangerous. Oh, that's nice. 8 or 6. I can't tell if that's 6 or 8. I think that's 8 out of 10. Check this out. Unleashed Gold Ice, Justin Allgaier. Nathan's going to love this one. That is sweet. Man, that's sharp. Congrats, Nathan. Let's get a mag for that one. That is real nice. Yeah, that doesn't suck. It looks, I don't think the camera can do it justice for you guys. It looks so much better in person. It's a good looking card. I'm telling you. Congrats, Nathan. That's sharp. Either way, one or whether you were at, whether it's 6 or 8, I'm still not sure. But either way, you're one away from a door number. Jamie McMurray, 60 out of 299. J-Mac goes to John Boyles. Jesse Love, Coming Attractions. I put a post out on Twitter a little bit ago on X, but I was just thinking about it again. If you guys keep Tyler Courtney in your either in your thoughts or prayers, if you're a religious person, he had a pretty nasty wreck at Eldora tonight, and they airlifted him out. He was alert and talking, and complaining of some significant pain in his back. So it sounds like he had feeling in his back, obviously, if he was complaining about significant pain. So not sure what that is going to be, but anytime you have to be, transported, that's not ideal, obviously. So John Hunter, 141 of 199, goes to JR. The nice thing about Eldora is they keep a Lifelight chopper on site. They always have a helicopter, a medevac chopper on site. So, if they have to transport somebody, there's no time lost. I don't think this was life-threatening, you know what I mean? But obviously, whatever it is, he was banged up pretty good, so. Todd Gillen goes to Michael Clay. Another nice two-color sheet metal. At least we've seen nice metal. Yeah, they flew him out, Braxton. That I wasn't aware of that until after I saw it from a couple of different team owners that said that they airlifted him. But again, they have a chopper on site. It's just as easy or almost easier for them to do that than to call in another squad to transport. You know what I mean? Because they have a medical center in the infield at Eldora, just like any other NASCAR track. They have a medical center. And then, of course, they've got a squad on site, and then they got the helicopter. And it's way easier for them to just transport somebody out with the helicopter than to call in another squad. So, so again, I don't think it life-threatening. I don't think so, but they were quick to all wrecks. It was like, yeah, oh yeah, they do not mess around. Yeah. So I just moved the Deegan. I did hear that this is a run that you're going to see pretty much all the time. Deegan, Waltrip, Tony B will always be in a trio like this, basically. Like that's in the sort layout, I guess. 42 of 199, Harrison Burton going to Todd. Corey Heim Unleashed. Oh, yeah. They literally have training days at Eldora. It's wild how much they put into it. Red and blue, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I have a picture somewhere. I have to find it. Yeah. No, I agree, Scott. I agree with what you're saying. Larson season highlights. But I have a photo somewhere at Atomic when I was there working. One night, one of our local guys, Danny Smith, flipped pretty violently on the front stretch And it was a night where the All-Stars were there, and Tony was there but not racing. And Tony was in the infield, and the photographer caught a picture of Danny Smith's sprint car still flipping. It hadn't come to a rest yet. You can tell, I mean, it was still upside down. And the picture caught Tony Stewart running around the fence in a dead sprint. Tony was the first one to the car as soon as the car came to a rest. But literally, I mean, the car hadn't even stopped wrecking, and Tony was already sprinting. So, you know, just crazy how much he cares and how much, you know, people should care. He certainly threw caution to the wind, though. 9 of 39. Black Velocity, Ty Gibbs going to Billy Joe. Earnhardt R. Connor Zillich, red and blue. Daniel Dye, red and blue. Harrison Burton. And Blaney. Yeah. When it comes to safety and being prepared, there is no amount of time or energy or resources that are wasted. That's for sure. Unleashed Byron. 3 packs to go on this one. We still should have an auto coming out of this box, too. Yeah, it does. I don't know. It does seem that way. Red and blue, David. I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I do think they take some hard hits in this next-gen car. Kane going to Dale Herman with the green Velocity. 39 of 99. Indy 500, that is. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Raja Caruth. Well, the car is all plastic, so... Red and blue, Richard Petty. Austin Dillon. Hey, there's our auto. Austin Beers, rated rookie. So we double up on Austin Beers. Different card for Chris Bonnet. Spellbound Jeff Gordon. I would agree, Scott, on the IndyCar safety, especially at Indianapolis. But that oval race that I was watching, I don't know when that was, when Newgarden flipped and they didn't even throw the red flag. I'll never understand that. Brandon Jones, red and blue. 44 of 199, Race Kings, Jeff Gordon. Going to Gavin. I don't know what he races. I haven't had time to research him. I haven't looked into any of these guys that I'm not familiar with, so I'm not sure. Frankie Muniz is the last one. Let's see if it says anything on the back. Austin Beers has one of those easy-to-remember names. Rising prospects in NASCAR. Two-time winner, 20-year-old in the Modified Tour Series, who won again in 24 to keep buzz around his name. So he's been running the Modified Tour. Oh, I just saw your comment, Nathan. Yeah, that's... your Allgaier is a gold ice to 10. Jamie just said Beers is in the Whalen Modified Tour. Which I think we just we just learned together. I wasn't sure what he was doing this year, so if he's still doing that, then that makes sense. I personally don't know that we need anybody. Like, if we're going to put guys from the Modified Tour in, then I don't see any reason why they can't include guys from other disciplines altogether. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it has to be owned by NASCAR. That's probably the kicker. Red and blue, Matty D. Taylor Gray. Zilich I. Oh, for sure, Scott. Some of the old school drivers, some of the old school dirt racers know that there was a time where they would go to a dirt track and there'd be no ambulance there. And now that's a huge no-no, obviously. But the old school guys still know that if they pull into a track, before they enter the racetrack, they look to make sure there's a squad out there. Because of things that have happened in the past. You know, that's going back a while, but you know, it's ingrained in them. I just want a Cletus card with him holding a beer. I'm told Panini's been working with Cletus, but they haven't gotten anything figured out. But it sounds like he's going to make a push to get into NASCAR, I think. So I would say it's only a matter of time till we get his cards. The moment he sets foot in a race, then Panini will be like, print, print, print. Coming attractions, Jesse Love. Yeah, they're not allowed to run without because of insurance, they cannot race without a squad there now. At any track, but it's, you know, it just got ingrained in those old school racers for so long. Yeah. Optic green, 92 and 99, Christian Rose. That's going to go to Johnny Hinton in the unlisted spot. And then we got a suited up Kaz Grala. That's going to go to Storm Ghost. The fire suit. Unleashed Jimmy and Austin Beers. Red and blue. Dale Jr., 259 to 299 red. Junior goes to Tim Mays. Amarola. Sheldon Creed. 26 out of 199. That goes to Paul Wolf. Red and blue, Tanner Gray. Suited up, slamming Sammy Smith. Goes to Candace. Yeah, track crew, EMS. Yeah, for sure. That's pretty easy for you guys. I mean, you might get called on a couple times a night. And it's, you know, I don't want to assume that this is the case, but I believe it to be true that those that work in that first response probably get more satisfaction out of the adrenaline of you know, an emergency situation than, you know, somebody's dealing with heat exhaustion and we got to go over and get them fixed up. So, which is what happens a lot at racetracks. You deal with a lot of falls where people have fallen, you know, here or there, especially older folks. I'm just thinking about what we dealt with when I was, you know, working at the racetrack. You deal with a lot of falls, a lot of heat exhaustion or heat stroke, whatever you want to call it, being overheated. That's probably more often than not why we would ever call on EMT for the grandstands. 9 times out of 10, heat related. Corey Heim. And then you'd have an occasional, it was never something that happened too often, but you'd have an occasional situation where, you know, a couple people had too many beers and they got into a fist fight and you got to go patch somebody up. Justin Bonsignor, Josh Berry, Optic Red, going to David Madsen, 161 of 199. I will say we've had 2 101s in this case so far. 2 printing plate 101s. Carson Quapple, 102 of 199. Going to Anthony Hawley. Oh, yeah. So at Ohio Stadium, there are, I want to say like either 4 or 6 permanent locations with physical doors at Ohio Stadium where if you're experiencing a problem and you can't find somebody for help immediately, you can actually go to a location and get help if you're having a medical episode or whatever. But then, they've obviously got a lot of people in the stands. Optic Hollow Silver Harrison Burton autograph. He used a much more fine point pen for his. Harrison Burton is going to go to Todd Colvin. There you go, Todd. Season highlights, Tyler Reddick. Red and blue Reddick. Allgaier. Brett Holmes, 126 of 299. Going to Johnny Hinton. Oh, yeah, I bet Mardi Gras is a nightmare. Large public events are bad enough, but then, be in the street with tons of alcohol. 139 or 199, like, that's just seems like more chaos. Chase Elliott going to Johnny. Vest with plates, yikes. That's pretty bad. Red and blue, Zane Smith. Hollow optic, Ty Gibbs. And Spellbound Eye for Connor. If it seems like I'm distracted, it's because I am. I'm still dealing with these freaking gnats in our house. And I've got what is one of the big outfits that does nationwide, is it Terminex? Anyway, I've got somebody coming out tomorrow morning because it's just everything I've tried is not working and it's driving me nuts. Like, I'm too OCD to be dealing with Larson O, so it's just... Yeah, we've never dealt with them before, but I've heard a lot of people are dealing with them this year, so I don't know if it's just the season this year or what. We try to be good about, not having stuff in the sink, or, obviously we've flushed stuff through drains and tried all kinds of stuff, and I've got one of those, little things that they stick to, but I feel like that just attracts some more. What do we got here? What have we got here? Is that like a Pandora? Yeah. Yeah. Pandora, Kevin Harvick, 15 of 25. And I heard from the Panini folks that, excuse me. I had just enough time to turn around. Anyway, I was told by, or heard from Panini that obviously they're numbered to 25, so you know what the print run is. But they say that these Pandoras are going to be tough to hit. Harvick going to Ronnie Stone. Yeah, that's nice. Again, I don't think it looks as good on camera as it does in person. I appreciate that, guys. Hollow Brett Holmes. Sometimes I know when, like, I can feel a sneeze coming on, and if I can catch it early enough, I'll get up and walk away from the table. But it happened so last second, the only thing I could think to do was just turn around. So, let me open some more penny sleeves. Some people, so the thing I do, I don't know what you guys do when you sneeze in public. You know, when I worked in childcare, we always taught kids, sneeze into your elbow or cough into your elbow. Years ago, I picked this thing up, though, where if I'm out in public and I have to sneeze, I pull the collar of my shirt up over my front of my nose, and I'll sneeze into my shirt, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and I've had a couple friends be like, "That's weird. Why do you do that?" And I'm like, "Well, because I don't want to be that person that sneezes on my hand in public, and then I don't have a way to wash my hands, and now I'm, you know, like trying to shake hands with you or, you know, whatever." I'm OCD. I'm not a germaphobe, though. Like, but I also just try to use some sense, you know, like. Best way to sneeze. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. Red and blue, Ty Dillon, Suarez, and Spellbound Larson. Yeah, and speaking of these, I didn't mean to get off topic. I was talking about these damn gnats that we're dealing with. But speaking of that, we're going out of town, and I've got my father-in-law, Chelsea's dad, is staying here for the week to dog sit and house sit. And I just I hated to think, oh, we're going out of town and you got to deal with these freaking bugs. Like, they're not that bad. Like, they're worse where I'm sitting currently because I have this desk lamp right here, 15 inches from my face. And so, what are bugs attracted to? Light. So, of course, and I'm in the basement, which is worse. So, like, I just got, like, all the whammies going here. But I didn't want to, like, have to call and have an appointment while he was gone and him have to deal with, the pest people coming out. So we got him coming out tomorrow. Hollow Optic Jeff Gordon. Spellbound Elliott T. Is that the first Chase Spellbound we've had tonight? I guess I haven't been paying close enough attention. We haven't had many Chase tonight compared to the other drivers. Jeff Gordon Blue, 9601.99. Going to Gavin. Third or fourth. Okay. Well, see, I'm not paying attention, obviously. Had it numbered earlier. Unleashed Chase. Because I smell good. Yeah. Well, the other day I had just mowed grass and I came down here and like I still had grass clippings, because I was sweaty. I still had grass like stuck to me and I was like, oh, they're probably attracted to me because of that. Well, I just took a shower like 3 hours ago, so I'm fresh, clean, and they're still hanging around, so obviously that's not. 122 of 199 Almirola going to Storm Ghost. Suited up Kaz Gralla going to Storm Ghost as well. Notice there seems to be less numbered cards too. You mean just overall, Sarah? You're talking about like total number of numbered cards? Red and blue. I'll show you at the end of the break how many. I'll show you the whole stack of numbered cards. I don't think there's less. Or if there is, it's very minuscule. Red and blue Waltrip. But I'll show you the stack. Christian Rose and Andres Perez. Because when I sort them over here off to the side, I've got numbered stuff separate from autos, relics, or short prints. So I can show you what the actual stack of numbered cards looks like without all the other stuff in it. It's a pretty good stack. I'm not sure if there's much difference. Hollow Optic Sammy Smith. I will say, I think there's probably somewhere between about 60 and 80 of the Optic Hollow silvers in a case, just basing it off of what we've been pulling per box and per 5-box break. So you'd probably have to open a couple of cases to get real close on a set of those. Kyle Busch going to Stoney. Sammy Smith. And 37 of 99 Spellbound Explosive or Explosion, either way. Letter Y for Petty. That's going to go to Glenn. Red and blue Matt Mills. Gordon, suited up A.J. Allmendinger. Going to Johnny. And Connor Zelich unleashed. I just want to remind everybody again, because I know I went and kind of changed what I was planning. The custom card, giveaway card for the race win SVG from last week will be done on Sunday's break, like we normally do on Sunday. I know originally I said we were going to do something Friday. We ixnayed that. The next break will be Sunday. 160 of 199. Blue, Ryan Blaney. Going to Stephen Hudson. We'll go Sunday and then Wednesday. And then Sunday again. Christian Rose. Hollow Optic. Connor Zilich, Spellbound. Hi, bud. What you doing?
Guess what?
What?
After tomorrow, guess where we're all going to?
Where?
Ocean City.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, and Dad.
What?
When we get there,
Yeah. Chandler Smith.
The first thing when it's dinner, I think.
Dinner. Yeah.
I want to eat at that one place where we flew out. On that one place.
Oh, with the boats?
Yes.
You want to go there?
Yeah.
That's called, what is that place called? Sneaky Pete's. Is what it's called.
Okay. Oh, and Dad.
Yeah.
You know that one blanket? That, what? I know, I'm talking to Dad.
Connor Daly, red and blue.
Hold up.
And Parker Retzlaff, red optic.
You know that one soft blanket?
Going to Danny. Yeah.
The white and red?
136 of 199, Danny. Yes.
That one was actually very comfy.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah.
Good.
Alright.
All right. Good night, bud. See you in the morning. Yeah, probably. I'll watch that with you while I'm sorting cards. I thought it was the same card. Look. Dylan and True. Red and blue, Kyle Petty. Sawalich and Daniel Dye. Going to Paul Wolf. Daniel Dye auto. We've had some different autographs tonight, which is good. I like to see this in a case, where you're seeing a variety. I know we got two of the same driver tonight, but overall, pretty good. Sneaky Pete's, yeah, Paul. That's where he's wanting to go. He's never been there, but we've told him about it because we enjoyed it there, and he wants to go sit on the boats out there by the bar. That's what he's most excited about. Todd Gilliland. Ooh, that's nice. Unleashed Bell. 66 of 199. Going to JJ. Nice one, JJ. And Luke. We've got a couple of places on our list. 49 of 299. Red, Connor Mozak. Going to Storm Ghost. Sneaky Pete's is one, obviously, because that's one MJ's wanting to go to right away. I think is it called Brass Balls? There on the boardwalk, we really enjoyed that place. And then Bad Monkey was the other one that we really liked. There's a few others. There was really only probably one place we ate that we didn't like. I got another sneeze coming on. Hang on. I said that, now I won't be able to sneeze. It's like, you ever have that where you got to sneeze and somebody says bless you before you do it, and then it screws everything up? That's what happened to me. Mackey's. I have not been to Mackey's. We've been to Shenanigans. I've ate at Shenanigans a bunch of times, actually. Red and Blue, Ryan Blaney. Somebody was asking about this. I don't think that's gold, no. Season Highlights, Dale Jr. And then an Optic Hollow, Michael McDowell. In the back to finish it off. So, compared to the first two breaks, I don't know that this one was quite as well. I don't know. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. When you take into account the 101 and the Gold Argar, and then the Pandora Harvick, it was a good break overall. I told you guys I'd show you the stack of numbered cards. So this is the whole stack of numbered stuff. And that's not autographs. And that's also not the short print Harvick. Or obviously any of the stuff in the mags. These are just numbered stuff higher than 25. So probably about 50, roughly. So I think fair amount. All right, let me get you guys a nice little recap here. Again, appreciate everybody's support. Obviously, I think everybody's enjoying the new Donruss product. I am too. I haven't opened any for myself, but when I get back from vacation, I plan to. It wasn't a priority to me right away. So, but anyway, I think everybody's enjoying it. It's a good product. For the price, I think it's really good. Also, like I had mentioned before, we will do a case break, probably not too long after I get back from vacation. So, we had the Harvick Pandora out of 25, and again, I'll reiterate, these are supposed to be pretty tough to hit. And we got Suited Up AJ Allmendinger, Kaz Gralla, Sammy Smith, Kaz Gralla. Oh, we had two Kazs. I didn't pay attention to that. Todd Gilliland, Pedal to the Metal. Justin Allgaier, Burning Rubber. Chandler Smith. Taylor Gray, Suited Up. Sammy Smith, Suited Up. Eric Jones, Pedal to the Metal. So only 2 tire relics. Out of the 10, we only had 2 tires. Which, again, I'm enjoying the ratio of less tire hits. Our autos, again, I don't know that any of them are like huge names, but I also like to see a nice mix. It's good to see other drivers hit, across the checklist. So Daniel Dye, Harrison Burton, Austin Beers rated rookie, and he had the signature series. So we had both versions for him, even though it's the same guy, 2 different cards. And Connor Mozak. And then up on the stands, we got the Gold Ice Unleashed Justin Allgaier. I think that's 8 of 10. It's still hard for me to see. It's either 6 or 8. But that's really, really nasty. Probably my favorite of the night. That's really cool. Those Unleashed Gold Ice cards are going to be a good chase for people. And then we had the Parker Retzlaff 101 printing plate. So that's really all I got for tonight. Again, the schedule's posted, but next break will be on Sunday from the beach. And then we'll go Wednesday. Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday, basically, is the plan. And then we'll get into more of our routine once I'm back. Obviously, once we get back, starting with next Sunday, and then we'll get into our typical where we do 3 or 4 breaks in a week kind of thing. So that's all I got. Again, I will get the stuff shipped from this one tomorrow, as well as the stuff from the second break. Like I said, the first break already shipped. You'll see a couple people had some from break 2 mixed in there because I was able to sort a few, but then I was like, all right, I gotta put these packages together. So, anyway, they'll be heading your way. So, that's all I got for tonight. Everybody have a great rest of your evening, and we will see y'all next time.